much. Cindy, let me send this to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Kathleen. I'm working with Brenda.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
How are you?
Given realignment and now being a 16-team league, we are very thoughtful in that process. We have guiding principles when it comes to travel and student-athlete well-being, and those are at the top of the list. And I think our travel this year has been very manageable, but it's not just a conference. We're engaging with our schools, our coaches, different committees that we have formed to make sure we're doing the right thing by our student-athletes.
Great. Scott, up in the front row.
And then also, I would say our fan base is growing tremendously. We have a lot more fans that show up to our games. I mean, even last year versus the first year I got here. So just a lot of more people supporting women's sports, and yeah, we love it. Samaya?
I'd say, being here today, looking at everyone here, asking so many questions, I feel like that's already a huge step in women's basketball and the support within the whole system. I do feel like we should keep it going and capitalize off that, and also give back. Like, we do appreciate everyone who comes to our games. We appreciate everyone who wants to take a picture, wants us to sign anything, and we appreciate all these interviews that we do with you all. And that's a huge shout out to you all as a thank you.
If you all could have one player on your team for 1 week, anybody in WNBA history, basketball history for 1 week, who would it be?
On our team?
On your team, playing with you all for 1 week in Big 12 play.
Probably Asia Wilson.
Hey.
Long, block shots, rebounds, run the floor, rim run.
If you were an opposing coach looking at Samaya's game, what would you say are things that could hurt you, and what are things that she maybe needs to improve upon this season?
Well, I think she's such an elite driver that you're probably going to play her for the drive first. And in her development, we've really worked on her playing off the three-point shot, so that if people are playing off and playing her for the drive, that she's really comfortable and doesn't hesitate at all to take the three.
What's it been like watching the growth of women's games, not just this past year, but even all the way up to the WNBA? Well, I studying a little bit about you and your team. I noticed that you coached at Georgetown.
I did.
For a little bit.
Yes.
Can you talk about that program for a little bit, that powerhouse of the men's and women's part of the program, and how did that prepare you for coming to Arizona State?
Man, well, I'm from D.C.
Okay.
So, to be able to I was there twice. I was there as an assistant coach when the late, great Coach Thompson was still coaching.
Wow.
Right,
okay.
so I have so many stories. We don't have enough time to be able to talk about what he instilled in me as a coach and as a person. And then to get the call to come back to be the head coach.
Yeah.
Second best, third best turnaround in year 2 in Division I history. And I took over the program when they were in a rebuilding phase as well. But it was the Mecca, right? To just be able to share the hallway with Coach Thompson, the life lessons that he instilled in me, to sit in his office and talk about the importance of rebounding, but also how to grow as a young coach at the time. I won't trade those opportunities in those moments. I've been fortunate enough, and up until he passed, to be able to have that phone number in my phone to call him with any questions. He used to sit in my practices, and so I know the family very, very well, and so that opportunity was so near and dear to me. But I think I grew from as a coach, as a person, as a leader, just making sure that I remember all the stories that he shared with me and the impact. He was about impact. He was about moving things forward, as you know, speaking on things that were uncomfortable to talk about at a time in our country. So I just think he stood for more than just basketball. It was about people. It was about doing things the right way and leaving a lasting impact.
We really want to be competitive in the Big 12. Last year was the first year that Houston was there, so you could kind of see that. But we really just want to take the step up and, not just be there and hang with people. We want to be with them.
What is it about the Big 12 that makes it so tough?
I think it's just the variety of teams that it has, especially with the new teams coming in. They have different styles of play. The teams that came from the Pac-12, it's not really like the Big 12. So it's just going to be really fun you have to really lock into whatever the scout of the team may be.
Thank you, ladies.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to brag on your team a little bit. What are you excited about most for this upcoming season with your team?
The thing I'm most excited about is we have Big 12 players.
Wow.
Last year we were coming from the American and we had really, really good players, but there wasn't Power 5 kids.
Yeah.
So now we have Power 4, Power 5 kids, whichever one you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
We got Aaliyah Love that transferred from Louisville. We got Ashley transferred from Texas Tech. We got Kateri Poole that transferred from LSU. We got Peyton from Utah. We got Big 12 players now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that and watching them grow and having that same chip on their shoulders and coming to give it every single day, because at the end of the day, they all got something to prove.
Yeah. How were you able to bring, in this era of transfer portal kids, how are you able to bring all that and mush it into a pot of gumbo?
Yeah, that's the hard part, especially now because there's no more depth chart.
Yeah.
So you fixing it a meal, one plate at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 month at a time, like that. So, but you have to do a lot of team bonding. And first, before that, you have to recruit the kids that you know that you can coach, that you know have the same values and morals that you have, and be able to put them together. And that's the part that we have to do every single day, because again, especially with females, it takes you being able to show them how much you love them, for them to be able to care for you the same way. And you have to be able to do all the small things. So it just can't be just all about basketball. It got to be about books, reading. So we do reading together. It got to be about team bonding.
Wow.
We're going to carve pumpkin together. We're going to paint and decorate the locker room for Halloween. You know, it got to be all those other things outside to show how much you care for me, because that's when I can reciprocate it back.
You say reading. And what book are y'all reading right now?
The book that we're doing this year is Relentless by Tim Grover.
Okay.
We're doing that book this year.
Kobe Bryant's trainer.
Yeah. So last year we did Why the Best is the Best by what's the name that was with the Celtics. Why the Best is the Best. What's his name? Used to be with the Celtics, and Kevin Garnett and all them won the championship. He was the assistant coach. Kevin Eastman.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're doing Relentless this year.
All right.
Yeah, so we can learn about the cleaner and all that kind of stuff.
There we go.
Yeah. WNBA Finals the other night gets a 2.1, I think, million views or something like that, which was the record. You talk about the tournament here last year. I thought the tournament, I was really worried about us being a week before the guys. That's asking our fan bases to do a lot. That's asking a city to do a lot. But I thought the energy and the attendance in here was fantastic. I hope we can build off that.
You all talk about what the gap goat is, for those who don't know what the goat is.
Yeah. Okay. This is Gappy, and he is our defensive representative. So a gap is 3 consecutive stops in a row on defense. And if you get 7 of those within the span of a game, your win percentage is like 95%. Yeah, something crazy. Your win percentage goes up insanely. So he is just kind of our mascot for our defense, and like keeps us motivated and kind of focused on that goal. And I think our fans have really bought into it. I think mini goats were sold out on Amazon for like a few weeks this past season. So yeah, it's fun, and it is like just a fun way to keep in our minds kind of.
Awesome.
Events for someone of my playing style. And not only will it benefit me, it'll also push me to get better. Just in this off season, I've become so much better at making reads and playing in the pick and roll. One, because the talent that is surrounding me with shooters like Madison and pick and roll with Sedona Prince, like that's as good as it gets. But also just continual reps and having to make reads over and over again. But A lot of the draw for TCU was, the basketball opportunity, but I think since I've been here, I've been amazed and just like completely humbled and filled with gratitude about the experience I'm having with the people that are there. That's
First things first, what's one of the most challenging aspects of coaching that people don't often think about?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the hardest thing is trying to get, however many players you have on your team, most have 14, 15, that come from all different walks of life, different countries, different backgrounds, and to get everyone to believe in a single vision, for how to ultimately be successful. Because everyone brings their own history with them, and sometimes that's hard to do.
What has Coach Prime meant to your athletic program?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love Prime. I'm a huge fan, of not just the football, but, who he is and what he's about. The biggest thing is just the vision on the eyes on our campus now, on our great university, because he brings so much attention and visibility, so it's been really cool to see it just spread worldwide.
That's awesome. All right, now turn around and get the back of the jersey. Describe your coach, your head coach, in one word.
Competitive. Passionate.
I was going to say both of those, so I'd say she's... Oh, that's literally what I was going to say. I should have first. Yeah, she's fun.
Okay, that's good.
She's nice. She's nice.
And with BYU, who's your rival now in the conference, now you're going to probably see them twice a year. Describe to everybody else in the Big 12 and in the country what that rivalry means between BYU and Utah.
Yeah, being from Utah, I can say, from the moment I came into this world, I had to decide Utah or BYU, being from Utah. So my mom played at Utah, so my answer was Utah. But I would say it's a really big rivalry throughout the state of Utah. You can always ask somebody if you're BYU or Utah. I would say that's a pretty common question, especially when you're in the Salt Lake area or Provo area. So yeah, I think it's a big rivalry, and we're super excited to be able to play them twice instead of just once.
My dog right here.
Hey,
look.
I try my best.
That boy
Hey, that's
president.
no one right
Look, boy got the bag. McNasties, Your third year at Oklahoma State, and prior to that, you were a coach at UMKC and you were assistant for Jeff Mittie at Kansas State. Tell us about that experience at Kansas State and that experience at UMKC, and what things did you learn from those two programs to actually what you're implementing now at Oklahoma State?
I had an amazing experience at K-State working for Coach Mittie. It was tremendous for me to get to just learn from a coach who's been very successful over the course of his career. He taught me a lot. He gave me a lot of opportunities. And I got to have Big 12 experience. So that alone, I think, was really eye-opening and really helped shape me and my, who I am, and understanding the level of competition that you get in the Big 12. Being at UMKC was great for me because I was able to be in a position where I could learn a lot and not really be on the highest stage where all of my failure was on display. I took over a job that was a really tough job. It was not, a program that had much history or success at the time, and I was able to really fail and fail quickly, but then also be very successful quickly. So I think those two experiences and jobs really helped shape me and prepare me for where I'm at now.
So with that being said, like, what was your fondest memory of UMKC? Like, what did you enjoy the most about being there?
I enjoyed a couple things. First and foremost, I love Kansas City. I absolutely loved working in Kansas City and living on the plaza, right where campus is. I think Kansas City is the greatest city in the world. So I loved my experience here. But also, we did something that no one had ever done in school history there. We won our first ever conference championship. So cutting down the nets and doing something that no one thought could be done was really special.
To get to the NCAA tournament was one of our goals, to advance was one of our goals, and then obviously everybody's talked about the Iowa game, and I thought we defended well enough to win the game, just didn't quite have enough offensively that night. And then coming into this one, I think I've said what a difference a year makes. It feels better. We had a foreign trip over the summer that I thought really helped the new group. So just hopefully a little bit of the same, and then see if we can't even advance a little bit more.
Well, you mentioned.
Now, earlier you talked about your time at Arkansas, and you actually got a chance to watch the men and Nolan Richardson as the head coach in the 40 Minutes of Hell. Describe a little bit more about watching the men play and how did that inspire you to become a coach?
Coach Richardson inspired me too to become a coach at the University of Arkansas. He was a father figure for a lot of the student athletes that was there. He also practiced every day at 3 o'clock, and we would finish practice right at 3. And so that he would be starting his practices, and I would some days stay and watch. And how he emphasized defense and just the way he cared for his players, that was big for me. And so I was excited about, being a part of Arkansas's team because of he played a big part in it. And I grew up in Arkansas, so I had followed his career even before I attended the University of Arkansas.
Awesome. I saw on your social media that when Colorado came to town to play you all, you had a moment with Coach Prime.
I did.
Talk about that interaction for a moment.
It was really good, great interaction. Recruiting-wise, you don't know how many parents ask me about Coach Prime, especially mothers.
Okay.
So having the opportunity to talk to him about that was really good. And he and I talked about coaching and what it takes to be successful, and we were very excited about that.
Excellent. Hey, describe Coach Messer in one word.
I would say energetic. She has a lot of energy. I would say passionate. Charismatic.
All right, if you could have one player in WNBA or basketball history for 1 week with our team, what one player would it be?
Anybody?
Anybody. One player.
Just with us, like teaching us, like coaching.
No, playing.
Oh,
playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Asia Wilson kill everybody. We need her. I would say Asia Wilson too, but then again, I would say Maya Moore.
Maya Moore, yeah.
I think it was really important to return. I feel like I had unfinished business. Trina and her staff are incredible, and I just always say there's no other place I wanted to be. Cincinnati's home to me, the community and all of that. And I just think we have something really special that we're building, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Good. For those people who might not know you in the Big 12, can you talk about who Coach Barnes is and what you represent and what you do?
Coach Barnes is a former player at Arizona. I've worn a lot of hats. I was a professional. I think that I always say I chose Arizona twice. I think Arizona brings an exciting style for women's basketball. I think we play with heart, we play with intensity, we play with a lot of grit. So I think we're fun to watch. And I think that we have some good young players that I think will make some noise in this league in the next couple of years.
What do you think the next step the WNBA needs to take? Because I was reading something where they're going to opt out of the current CBA. What do you want them? What do you want to see happen going forward?
I think what you're going to see is you're going to see players. I think their salaries are going to go up for sure. I think this next agreement, they'll have more security, they'll have higher salaries, so many players don't have to go overseas. And I think this is the first time in WNBA that you've seen players made more money off of NIL their rookie years in the WNBA than they did from the WNBA. And I think that's not going to happen. I think, is it going to go to the men's salary? No. But it's not going to be at 100,000, it might be at a couple 100,000, but I think the pay is going to go up. I think franchises are starting to make more money and people are investing more in women's sports. And an example here is Sprouts.
Yeah.
Sprouts now supports 98% of women's sports in their championships, so
yeah.
you're going to see more of that because people are seeing it pays off. You invest in women's sports, it'll pay dividends.
Your top 5 athletes of all time.
Of all time. Athletes, women's basketball players.
Let's just do women's basketball.
Women's basketball players.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always going to be a Cheryl Swoops fan because I played with her. Okay. I think she's the GOAT for sure. I love her game. I think Maya Moore is incredible. Candace Parker, huge fan. Let's see, who else? Well, Diana Taurasi's the GOAT herself. And then I really like, let me think, like right now, I'm going to say, well, obviously I think Caitlin Clark's a fantastic player as well and what she's done for the game.
Now, you said you played with Cheryl Swoops and y'all on the national championship team? Awesome.
Yeah.
How did her impact on you all make everybody else better?
Oh. Yeah, she's incredible, right? I mean, she really took our team to the next level. She was able to draw so much attention on the court that we had to be ready, willing, and able, for when she gave it up or passed it or whatever it might have been. But I think what made our team so great is how unselfish we were and our chemistry. And not only did she do a great job of being a great team player, but all of us around her were never envious of that. We all knew that what each other could do for the other one to be able to make our team great. And I really think that's why we were able to be successful.
All right, so I would like for y'all to describe y'all head coach, each of you, your head coach in one word.
Loyal. Traditional. Passionate.
Okay. And a lot of people know about Hilton Coliseum, Hilton Magic. What makes Hilton Coliseum so special?
Definitely the people. The number of people and the type of people that show up. We get a large crowd, but it's also a crowd of people that really care and care for a long time. And so not only do we have the numbers, we also have good quality of fan bases. So we're just really lucky. Not only that, but Hilton also travels. So whenever we come here, it's called Hilton South because last year there were probably more Iowa State fans, and we didn't even play that day, and they were filling the arena. So I think that they're just loyal to the arena.
It was lit for the men's and the women's tournament. I'm looking on the sideline like, yo. What was one of the biggest lessons that you all learned from last season that you all are going to take into this season?
I think one of the biggest things that we learned from that exit was how tough we were. I mean, I think we knew, but for me, speaking personally, like taking Stanford to, what was it, overtime? It was overtime? Number 2 ranked. Nobody thought we were going to be anything last year just because we were so new, so young. We just really learned what we had, and now we're building off of that. And that's my experience.
For me, it's just, believing in just the process and, just putting your head down and go to work. Like Audie said, no one really believed in us, but, we kept it within, our 4 walls every single day, and we were able to show a lot of things to the outside noise and just kind of silence them. So that was my thing, was just like, really just stay within yourself and the team. You can do anything you set your mind to.
First off, describe your coach in one word.
Our coach. Feisty.
From the daughter.
That's a good one. I feel like a combo, like she's goofy but also like feisty. Yeah.
Feisty, all right. And so for those who don't know, who've never been to Utah or to the Marriott Center, describe the atmosphere of the BYU fans, of the campus, of the teachers. Describe that a little bit.
We love them for it, but they're like so over the top BYU fans that it's so good, and the atmosphere is just like super loud, super engaging, super fun. So yeah, we have a student section called the Rock, and they're just always loud, always going crazy. They have like the little signs, the spinning things like behind free throws and stuff like that. They're dedicated for sure. They always travel with us. We love them. They make it fun.
Make it fun. Perfect.